In a world that's dominated by some fairly stratospheric valuations, to my mind this actually doesn't look out of kilter. You look at the valuation of Twitter, fewer followers fewer users than WhatsApp, and probably less integration of those users as well. It doesn't seem as bonkers as it first seems when you look at the numbers.
Yeah, I think that when you look at the number, Facebook, in terms of active users, it's 1.2 billion active users. WhatsApp, it's 450 million active users, mostly on mobile, when everybody knows that you have to be on mobile and move to mobile. So definitely, if you believe the story that these users are worth that much, and definitely if you are in the US, in Silicon Valley, that's what's happening, it makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Amazingly, it makes sense. Look, clearly this is a conversation that's been going on for quite some time. Clearly, Facebook understands that it needs to grow. You cannot, as Mark Zuckerberg, just stay with Facebook and organically grow this business. Yeah. It is not a business model for success. He's going to have to carry on doing this.
Yeah, and actually what's interesting is that if you think about Facebook, Facebook is controlled today by Mark Zuckerberg. That's a big difference with any other big company. So one has to wonder, would it have happened? Will have somebody there to do such an acquisition without having full control of the company in terms of voting rights. So for me, that's also another interesting point. Could Google or others really follow up and try to provide such a big valuation?
So it's an advantage.
I think that if you believe it's the right move, and I think it makes sense as a move, it definitely can come on as an advantage because you can be faster, more daring, and move really fast.
How does Mark Zuckerberg make the most of this business?
So if you look at Facebook, it's mostly around photo sharing as well as messaging. That's how it started, that's how it was built. So for me, a few years ago, the acquisition of Instagram really makes sense. Suddenly you have a very fast growing photo sharing app on mobile. You cannot let that happen too long because you know one of your big strengths is this photo sharing, it cannot go somewhere else, so you acquire it. WhatsApp follows a similar story where you know messaging is big for you. You need to do messaging to be big in mobile, and suddenly somebody else is bigger than you in messaging on mobile. You cannot let that happen. So there is a real strategy to be aggressive and defend the core business, but be aggressive in expanding it on mobile.
Is this a better acquisition? It's a much bigger acquisition, but is this a better acquisition than Snapchat?
It's difficult to say. For me, what's interesting is that WhatsApp has been around for quite some time in internet time, 4 or 5 years, versus Snapchat maybe less than 2 years. What's interesting is that they've been big in the US, they've been big in Western Europe, but suddenly in the past 12, 15 months they have gone very fast in Brazil, in India, in Mexico. So that's really new territories that are pretty interesting in terms of growth, and Snapchat is nowhere there. Snapchat is mostly US and a bit Western Europe phenomenon. So WhatsApp is really, I would say, an older player who has much bigger user base. Also, if you look at Snapchat, it's mostly around teenagers. So it's another segment, don't get me wrong, it's an interesting one, but definitely WhatsApp covers a wider range of audience.
This may be a stretch, but it feels like another dark day for European technology companies.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, if you accept actually two operations in Europe, Skype, acquired by Microsoft after spending some time at eBay. Skype is still one of the apps in terms of social messaging monetizing the most. The other one has been Viber last week, acquired by Japanese Rakuten. So I would say there is some hope in Europe, but it's on a different scale, I would say.
One last question. Can you really monetize this stuff quickly enough to justify a valuation like this?
I think the good news is that for Facebook, it's mostly a stock acquisition. So if you believe in the Facebook story, and I think it's a good one, there's a big guy in the space. If you remember 5 years ago, people will ask, will Facebook be able to monetize? And I think they demonstrated that they are able to monetize, and not only that, 1 year after IPO, that they monetize as well very well in mobile. So I think they can provide a very good platform for some companies to get acquired before they reach a stage where they will monetize, where Facebook machine will help them to accelerate even more, as well as provide all the monetization options. If you think about WhatsApp, it's 55 people. it's near impossible to really monetize at scale with such a small team. So suddenly at some point they will be able to leverage the Facebook machine. So I think it's a very interesting what Facebook is putting in place, and also the way they manage the acquisition, where they let the team keep the product, keep working together separately from Facebook, but step by step leverage the Facebook machine.